Today we'll be discussing the Halo Wars 2 beta. It's just going to be a video about what I think about the current state of the game, how the beta is going, how units pan out, how the UNSC and the factions and just the leaders and the units all compare. I have the forum pulled up here so I can pull some interesting points. Now, I want to start with the UNSC here, but first, the game is great. I think in the beta stage, it's fine as it is. It's got obvious bugs, it's got obvious balance issues, and it's got some graphical glitches, some stat glitches, some things more powerful than others when they shouldn't be. And, you know, I think in the 8 months it's going to take until this game is fully released, it can be fixed. Stuff can be fixed. Colors can be changed. These bugs can get worked out. It's really like a numbers game right now, based with damage, health, stats you gain from veterancy, stats you gain from leader abilities, and it can all get settled out. So just I'm gonna try to put some people's fears to rest about Halo Wars 2 because I'm looking on the forum right now on my separate monitor. People are hating this game. I don't understand. People are bitching about reactors and how reactor like energy is its own resource, which I think is fantastic because now that you when you're building a base, you have to have your supply pads and your generators, even though they're called generators now, but then you upgrade them and it's called reactors again. The guy will say reactor upgraded. It's weird. But I think it's a great addition to have an additional resource because now with Halo Wars 1, when someone's assaulting, say, one of your secondary expansions, your secondary base, and you have maybe like one advanced reactor, maybe two advanced reactors, just so you have it on the safe side in case, one of your other bases gets destroyed. They destroy those four reactors, and you can't make any units pretty much to counteract that army if your army got defeated. But now with the generators, you're easily able to just they get destroyed, but you got another base just pumping out more resources, or maybe all your generators got destroyed, but you still have a decent amount to pump out some good units to counter the enemy army that's attacking your base. And I think that's just a fantastic addition to the game. I don't understand why people are bitching about not having reactor numbers anymore. Just to pull up some simple things, especially with UNSC, Mac Blast seems to be doing severely less damage. I could see that. Mac Blast is still super easy to dodge. I think it's even easier to dodge now than it was in the first Halo Wars. Another big thing I have that this person brings up, unit population number has gone up, but the number of units that you can spawn seems to have decreased. I think that, yes, that's a very valid point. I feel like the UNSC right now can pump out a lot more units, and UNSC, even from Halo Wars 1, UNSC have been stronger than the Covenant factions have been. And I feel like the UNSC can pump out a lot more units than the Covenant can. And UNSC focuses, their strongest units right now are infantry. And right now, I think infantry dominate Halo Wars 2, at least in the beta. Especially Covenant vehicles. Well, they're not, I'm just going to refer to them as Covenant, even though they're the Banished, they're an entirely separate faction. I'm just going to refer to them as Covenant because it's a lot easier. Just, you hear Covenant, you know what units I'm talking about. Covenant vehicles, even with upgrades, are not good. They're too slow firing. I feel like they don't do enough damage. Even, say you have a couple Marauders, 3-4 Marauders, they take up so much space. They just don't do that much damage, and they can easily get countered by a couple Cyclopses, a couple Marines, even a couple Scorpions, even if you have an army of, say, Elite Rangers, Hunters, and Wraiths, the Wraiths get targeted, they're gone. And even if the UNSC has 4 squads of snipers, they're going to lock down your anti-vehicles, then your Scorpions and your Cyclopses are just going to destroy the base. And the Rangers get picked off by a canister shell, which I think is broken right now. But it really shows that vehicles aren't a dominating force. The same with air. The air's not doing too well. I don't see many Banshee rushes anymore. I think the only powerhouse air vehicle right now is the Vulture. I've seen plenty of Vulture build-ups. Seems like people can get around 6 to 7 Vultures out, but even then, vehicles to counteract them, like Wolverines, I think is stronger than the anti-air Reaver right now. The Reaver, I sent an army about 4 or 5 Reavers against 3 Vultures, and they couldn't even take one Vulture out, even with the Vultures focusing the rest of my ground units. So the Reavers, the anti-air Reavers, definitely need an upgrade. The only air unit that's good right now is the Vulture. Even this person brings out Hornets appear like they're never taught how to aim. That's just one of the glitches, you know. The bullets you see are flinging all up in the air. That's an easy fix. Graphics look cartoony. I think the graphics look fine. They don't look as like, if you zoomed in on the Halo Wars 1 characters, they look kind of like muddy and garbled, kind of rough edges, you know, just like plasticky. I think these units look better, definitely. Let's look at some other things here. Colors for teams need to be more distinctive. That's a give or take. Leaders which you control new abilities. UNSC never had leaders. I can see how people could complain that if they picked Atriox, they want Atriox to be the Warlord. He would probably have the same skills that the Warlord has now, but you got to think about it. When it comes to upgrading units, only a couple units have upgrades. You see, like, say for Atriox's banished units, Wraith only has Scorch, and Marauder has Thick Hide. There's nothing for Reavers, and the same for infantry. Elite Rangers, they don't have any upgrade. Elite Rangers are the exact same thing as a Jackal squad from Halo Wars 1, and Jackals had shields, and then they had beam rifles. And Elite Rangers have nothing, so which I think that's just a beta problem. For now, the commander tech tree seems pointless and unnecessary as you spend more time deciding what ability you want instead of using it and killing your enemy. I don't agree with that. Some abilities I haven't touched, really, but some abilities really are give and take. Like, say with UNSC, you're either going to pop, and at least in Domination, you're going to pop the unit capture, decapture a lot quicker than you're going to, you're going to prioritize getting the capture, decapture over veterancy. But now with Deathmatch being out, as this was recorded June 18th, Deathmatch has been out for over 24 hours now, veterancy is where it's at. And that brings me to my next point. Veterancy is everything for this game. A unit with even one veterancy can easily take out its equivalent on the same side or the opposite faction easily, can 1v3 easily. Especially when it comes to ground units. Like I said, infantry is the toughest units in the game right now. They dominate. Marines, snipers, Cyclopses. Grunt squads really aren't that good, but that just goes down to like the Covenant really aren't that good right now. And I've seen people say that the Covenant are overpowered, but I made it a fact. I'm like, I want to play Atriox, because back in Halo Wars 1, I liked playing the Prophet, and I played Brute here and there, but I really wanted to, get these new banished units out. And what I saw was I'd play against a double cutter, and they would just go, one guy would just mass Marines, so many Marines, and he'd have veterancy, so he'd be good at kiting them, and then all of a sudden you just got this whole mass of Marines with 1, 2, 3 veterancy, and it's pretty much over by then. And then, even with my Atriox, I'd use Cleansing Beam. Cleansing Beam was iffy. I see a squad of snipers with veterancy, and snipers are overpowered. I'll get to that in a second. I'd Cleansing Beam their army of Marines. They have, if they have 2 veterancy, your Cleansing Beam's going to do nothing, even if it's fully upgraded. And usually I took the invulnerability, all units are rendered invulnerable, over Eradication Beam. Because Eradication you can easily kite, but with Restoration, which was the aura in which you could make your units invincible, I could use that. They fight the army, and then the moment that's over, pop the all units invulnerable. But going on, I'll get to the snipers in a second. I just want to pull up a couple more points from the forums. Zoom out function too small. I would agree. My friend said that. My doubles partner said that as well. Base design is messy. I could see that for UNSC. The UNSC buildings just by default are a lot bigger than the banished buildings. So yeah, they could mess with size and just how much of the base brings up. The space, takes up the Main base. Marines should require barracks. Maybe. I could see a lot of people are bitching that Marines can only be made out of your main base, but I don't see that as an issue. Where are the special units? There are special units, Jerome for one, but he gets, seriously, you get a squad of snipers with the single upgrade they have, and they can just sit there and stun lock him until he's dead. And I just think, I'm just going to say this so many times, I just think snipers are so overpowered, especially if you're playing against a cutter. If you have a group of like 5 snipers sitting back and you have maybe like 1 or 2 units or just like your army for general, fighting the guys, any infantry gone. Because for example, I was playing a dubs match where I was Atriox and a double cutter was attacking my friend's base who was also a cutter. This guy had probably 4 sniper squads sitting behind his army, and I was rushing hunters because the guy had a lot of tanks and a couple cyclopses, so I had some elite rangers in there. My hunters couldn't get close before the snipers just 2-shotted them like it was nothing. I think right now snipers should have multiple upgrades. Maybe the first one increases their damage, second one makes them invisible, third one stuns, third upgrade stuns. That could really balance it out to where, like, okay, if you want to invest in snipers, you'll go these multiple upgrades for the snipers. But like I was saying, any infantry marching within the fog of war radius where you can actually see of your army is just going to get annihilated by these snipers. And the sniper movement speed is really fast, including with the cutter ability to make infantry quicker on their feet when they're running around. They can easily just run out of danger. Usually when I see snipers, I will direct my army to just forget anyone else and go straight for those snipers because those guys are just so overpowered. But that's my 2 cents on that. I could rant for days. Scorpions look different than what they should really look like. You gotta see, they announced that Halo Wars 2 takes place right after Halo 5. So Scorpions can look different. People still bitching about energy. They could say that the system for energy, but I feel at the rate at which energy is accumulated could be a bit faster. I disagree, because at first, energy is really hard to make. Like, when I start my building my structures in the beginning of the game, I always go supply pad, generator, and by the time all 4 of those are built and I've upgraded, I always upgrade the generator first and then supply pad. I will already have a 1-slot mini base expansion with another generator. So I think the beginning of the match is really, balancing, making a couple units go out and get resources so your supply is going up quicker while building up your energy resource. But I always find myself at the end of the game having tons more energy than I do supply because I feel that units in this game require a lot more supply than they do energy. So it's just in the beginning of the game, it's hard to get the ball rolling, but that's just how RTS is. You start with nothing, and then you got to build your base up to where you have a good economy. So you can't really complain about energy. Accumulation is a little too slow. Captain Cutter looks different. They got reasons for why are people bitching about how leaders look. Yeah, it's confusing. It will get explained. The difference between UNSC and Covenant is too little. Yeah, I could say that. Like, their yeah, the UNSC has always been stronger than the Covenant, but the Covenant could mass more units and had more distinct units. But like I said, UNSC infantry just dominates everything. You make a couple Scorpions, you make a couple Vultures or like Wolverines, and you're just gonna counter everything. And there goes my phone going off mid-video. And what else? People are just, the tanks are god awful. Yep, vehicles are awful. Why give UNSC a leader? These, like, people are really just bitching about just the weirdest things. They're bitching about graphics. They're bitching about like a new resource. They're bitching about the leader powers, and the health of the bases should be drastically increased. I don't think people realize that with your armory or your war council, if your Atriox can increase the health of the bases. And I think that was a really good addition, because if I want to have an infantry rush, and there it goes off again, if I want to have an infantry rush, I would make sure that after I built a couple of units, I would then get the infantry upgrades because those just gives percentages, increased health and increased damage. Bases, graphically this game looks great. Bases look really weird. Okay. Resources and power, I don't think it's a needed change. Like, these people don't understand how RTSs work. I feel like these are like the first RTSs these people have ever played. ODSTs are useless. I think they made ODSTs a lot more of a special unit than they did a mass unit, because with Cutter you could just get a ODST upgrade. You could just wait till it generates, and then you just drop like 20 of them. But I feel ODSTs are a lot stronger as a unit, and they have their their demolition or their satchel ability right off the start. I think ODSTs, just as a unit that you can drop in yourself, it's a nice change. People are going to have to get used to it, because you can't just like go, oh, I want to go Cutter because they have ODST and just drop a shit ton of them. No, you can't do that anymore. The same goes with the Cyclops drop. Like, you get a level 3 Cyclops, and then same with Atriox, you get the Spirit drop with the Suicide Grunts, and you can upgrade it to have Jetpack Brutes. Like, I feel it's a situational thing. You're like, oh, I need another unit here. You drop down an ODST, and he starts, killing some infantry, because I feel like a single ODST squad can easily take out 3+ grunt squads or marines, no problem. Having teammates reticle on the map, yeah, I miss that. I said that to my friend. I'm like, I miss being able to see where my friend's camera is instead of they have to ping. I never know what they're going to do next until they ping if I'm not playing with my doubles partner with a mic. Covenant troops far superior early game. I don't believe that, especially in Dominion. If both armies met, and usually when I have like infantry versus infantry, I'll select all infantry and make them focus one squad at a time, because they'll instantly down one, get veterancy, down another, get more veterancy, and then you win by then. You can't make your troops sit there and just attack all willy-nilly, whatever the hell they want. You really got to focus units. Covenant has a better economy. Yes, but that's only because Atriox's abilities, because that is specific to him. People don't realize that there's only 2 leaders in the beta right now, but how many locked things are there? 4, 6 other locked heroes? So maybe Atriox is the leader that has the first 2 abilities, which make like building times, research times, unit times decrease, and that's just unique to him. That's why if you play Atriox, that's what you're getting out of him. So you can't really complain that the Covenant has better economy, because yeah, that's his design. He's gonna have better economy, but he has worse units. Needs to be a Unicy anti-vehicle unit. No, yes, for like balance purposes, but like I said, until vehicles get buffed, there's no need. Love the veteran upgrade. Yep, veteran is good. Make an option when all the health bars are visible. Yeah, that's just part of one of the graphical glitches. I think health bars, especially for bases, need to be made, because instead of just being able to look at a base, I have to click on it, then look to the bottom left and just see that little small bar just slowly dwindle. Other than that, build times. When you're building a base, before you could click on it and see how close it was done percentage-wise, and now you're just going to have to guess based on time. Units look like rubbish. Not really. People are being really picky. It's a beta. It's got 8 months, and the first Halo Wars came out great, and people are saying RTS is on consoles. Like, the only other RTS I played on a console was the Lord of the Rings RTS. And I thought that was great. And I was psyched for the first Halo Wars, and I think that turned out great. Colors for teams being more distinctive, yeah. Like how they brought the brutes back. No microtransactions. Hold your tongue. There's always microtransactions. Units need more balancing, yes. Definitely don't like the unit aesthetics. Too big in comparison to the map. I've seen that both ways. People are saying units are too small. Some will say units are too big. It's really all over the place. Like, people aren't agreeing on the same things here. What else? Warhawk gunners completely miss any air units. I haven't made any Warthogs because, like I said, I don't like vehicles. Uh, there's currently no ability to queue up movements or actions. There is, but it's shaky at times. For people that don't know, if you have a unit doing something and you look somewhere else with that unit selected and you hold X, it will take a second, and then the little like pinging cursor thing will show up and it will cue the action. But I feel like for some things more than others, it works and then it won't work. Having built a mini fire base to use extra pads on the map is counterintuitive. Not really, they're small expansions. What else? Improve the Nightingale. I think the Nightingale's useless. At least you can't make units non-combative. Like, I understand engineers not being combatants, but the Nightingale not being combatant, it's I've only seen Nightingale a couple times and it's done nothing because if there's no use for a Nightingale if you have Marines that can heal units in buildings. So unless they do something with that, the Nightingale is useless. Anything else? Population limit odd. Yeah, we've seen that. Pelican drops are missed. Yeah, I miss being able to pick up your army with the Pelican, but I feel like the maps are bigger, but they have more like alleyways and like ways to get around. So it'd be kind of dumb if you could just make an army, throw a Warthog over to the base, and drop them off. I mean, you could do that, but in the first Halo Wars, but I don't feel like it fits in these maps because map control is a definite plus in this game. I feel like you have to control the map, control the bases, control the power generators on the map a lot more. It's a lot more important than map control was in the first Halo Wars. Let's see. Snipers are overpowered, yes. Yeah, UNSC infantry so strong. 3 Marines can kill a tank. Hunters can kill. Hunters are pretty good. Hunters are probably the only good ground unit for the Covenant. Anything else? Be able to select our color in custom matches? Yeah, sure. See where your teammates are looking on the map. Yep. Fully upgraded Jackrabbits damage output. Who uses fully upgraded Jackrabbits? I definitely don't. Don't see Hawks yet. It's still beta. So these are just a couple of the things here. Like, all these people are saying the same as I've gone through like 10 pages of the forums just for UNSC right now. That I'm using what people say about the UNSC to talk about the Banished. But other than that, people are basically just saying the same things. Base colors, unit balancing, which it can all be done. It's a beta. We still have 8 months till this game's done. So think about that, guys. Alright. Well, that's the video. Hope you guys are enjoying the beta. I will see you out there. If you have any other comments, concerns, put them down in the comments. I'd like to hear what you got to say about Halo Wars. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. It's got its quirks. It's got its bugs, but it's a labor of love. They got 8 months. So don't fret, guys.